Welcome everyone, nice to see lots of people, and got 27 so far, and including couples, that's 28. So I'm going to get the metronome going at 120 beats a minute. We're going to get our feet going, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Just get stomping away, and then I'll start clapping after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. 1, 1. 1. 'Keep those feet going. One more time. Good. And that's sometimes known as a boogaloo clave. It's a rhythm that's used in boogaloo music, which is a kind of swinging blues music from the 60s, which had this sort of rhythmic sort of pulse chugging along in the background. Good, good, good. Okay, that's our clapping thing pattern. Let's just get the instruments going, and if you'd like to grab your instrument now. And our key today is F, the F Lydian Scale, so we're going to concentrate on the note F. So I'm just going to play some notes, and you're all very familiar with this now, I'm sure. And I'm just going to play some notes, and you just blow some long notes on your horn, or twiddle some guitar notes just to get the right hand, in the sense of guitarists, moving a bit. If you want to sing some notes at the same time, get the air moving through your lungs. Just concentrate on the note itself, listen to it, and coming to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's starting to warm things up a little bit there, I think. Good. We're going to move on to the chromatic scale now, and as we did last week, one or two of you might not have been here last time, but we've started doing it slightly differently. Instead of just going up the chromatic scale, in this case from F up to an octave F, we're going to start on that note F, go down a semitone, this case to E, back to the F, and then move up to the next note in a pattern a little bit like this. So gradually getting higher with those little 3-note phrases, trying our best not to make it sound like a pastiche of the Jaws theme. So let's get some dun, dun, after 4. So starting on the F, down a semitone, back up, and then up to the next note, F sharp. Obviously your concert instruments. That's for concert instruments. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next note. One more to go. Good. Hopefully you all arrived at the same time, and sorry if I've got a bit of a rattle on my guitar. I'm not sure what it is at the moment, but we'll carry on. Okay, let's do that again. So after 4, starting on the low concert F, working our way up to the octave. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more to go. There we have it, and that's our chromatic scale part of the warm-up. So we'll leave that for now, and normally we do that 3 times, but because there's extra notes in it, I think we've probably spent enough time going up chromatically. So let's move on now, and we'll go to the usual chord sheet, the exercise sheet for your respective instruments. So get that up on the screen if you're not a concert instrument. And yeah, so this week's scale, as I've mentioned, is the F Lydian Scale. Couple of ways of looking at it in terms of, you know, working out what notes are in it. You can either think of it as the F major scale, but with the 4th note raised the semitone. So the same as the F major scale, but with the raised 4th. Or you can think of it as the same notes as the C major scale. Same notes as the C major scale, but just starting on the F, so going from F to F, but through the notes of C major. So 2 different ways of looking at it. It's the most natural scale, actually, because when you hit a block of wood and you hear this sort of ringing sound, the first 7 overtones going up the overtone scale will be the notes of the Lydian scale. That's where they come from. So it's a natural scale. It does come out of physics, or approximately anyway, because the notes have changed their pitch slightly since. But right, here we go. We're going to look at the first bar there, and in one of the familiar patterns of playing the scale. So let's just go straight for that. I'm just going to set the tempo to 80 beats a minute, and we're just going to play bar 1 just once. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bit louder. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just do a little bit slower because that triplet does make it a little bit harder, especially if it's an unfamiliar scale. So, okay, we're going to move on to the second bar now, the descending Lydian scale. So, same rhythmic pattern, and you might have noticed that 4th note, there's a root, and that's the raised 4. For such a nice scale, that's a very dark sounding interval. It's well known as being a dark sounding interval, used a lot by people who want to put a bit of menace into their music. sometimes called the tritone or the flat 5 or the sharp 4. Okay, we're going to do the descending from the high. Here we go. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the final time, 3, 4. So that's the actual scale itself. As I say, it's a bit like concert C major, starting on the F. Next to it, I've just shown the F major 7 arpeggio, just for those of you who want that. And then we're on to the next line now. So the major scale in intervals. So we're now going to, and you're going to hear that when we get to the tritone, the jumper to the sharp 4 on the second bar, you'll hear that distinctive, what they call the devil's interval. So, okay, we're going to play the second line left to right all the way across, all 4 bars. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it goes. Okay, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the tritone. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you may guess that that's going to be our interval later on, from the root to the sharp 4, the tritone interval as it's called, because it's just 3 tones in height or interval. And not many songs start with that. Kathy did suggest a couple. The Simpsons theme tune, but that's based on Maria from West Side Story. So they're the 2 tunes which start on a tritone. If anybody finds out another one, let me know. It's, that's not completely obscure and written just for the sake of it. Not many well-known tunes start on that interval. So, okay. Right, let's move on to the next line, and we're now going to play that scale, the Lydian scale, in up in thirds, a bit like the pattern we did last week. So we're on the 3rd line, keeping it reasonably slow because we've got all in quavers. All right, here we go. After 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Bit of a fumble there, but we'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now let's do the descending one now. So on the next pair of bars, sorry, that was just the left 2 bars. Now the bars 3 and 4 on this line. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okie dokie, there we go. That's the major scale in descending thirds, and somebody's sending me a nice message, so I can't resist reading it. Okay, Julie, yeah, thanks for the comment, and see you next time. Thank you. Right. Okay, we're going to move on now with our rhythmic patterns. So we've got a variety of little patterns here, and first of all we've just got the very simple one, just the crotchets, and I can speed it up I think for this first one. This is just literally going from the concert F up to the tritone, up to the sharp 4, sometimes called a flat 5, enharmonically all the same thing, which is what enharmonic means I suppose. Let's put that to 90 beats a minute now. So here you're going to hear that very distinctive interval after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. Actually, I will turn it, slow it down slightly. Good. Moving on to the next bar, second bar on the rhythmic side of things. This one is, it's actually the same thing, it's just got a tritone on top of it. So if you're a chordal instrument, pianos and guitars, you can play the two notes at the same time, and you will recognise it, I'm sure, as the opening to Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. If you've got two people in the room playing at the same time, Richard and Jan for example, you can play each of the two notes. It will sound interesting. It's not a melodious interval. So one can take the top line and the other can take the bottom line. Otherwise you can choose which one you like. I'm just going to play the bottom line. Actually, I'll just play the top both to start with. It will sound like this. You may recognise that, as I say, from Purple Haze. But I'm going to play the bottom line. You play whichever line you like. So we're on the second bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we have it. So the thing about the sharp 4, the actual note itself, is exact in terms of semitones, not pitch, but in the actual semitones, it's exactly halfway between the octaves, the F, concert F, and the next F up. It's the one right in the middle, which is why it symmetrically appears in the middle, especially if you're playing guitar. You can see that it appears in that little diagonal line of fingers on the fretboard. So it's halfway between the two opposite ends. Moving on to the third bar. Now, we're just going to play this once, first of all. You'll recognise it when you hear it played as a loop. We're just going to play it once. Yeah, and you think, where's the old tritone gone? It's in there. It's still in there. Here we go. I'm just going to play that third bar once. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, hit the wrong note there. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to put it into a loop. So we're just going to loop that, and you'll recognise the tune and also see where this tritone interval appears. It's actually between the last note and the first note, which is why it didn't appear during that one-shot version. So we're going to loop bar 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. See the interval there? There. One more time. The Simpsons. So the next time you're watching The Simpsons, you can point out to the rest of the family, that was a tritone. We're on to bar 4 now, and just another little rhythmic phrase featuring this delightful interval. Here we go. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time, and oops, sorry, counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, got that wrong. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm getting this wrong again now. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's better. Okay, now we're going to loop it. So we're on bar 4, and we're just going to loop that phrase for a little while. 1, 2, 3, 4. Time. Okay, good. Moving on. We've just got a couple of 3 more patterns to go. Actually, one of them's a 2-bar pattern, which is why we've only got 3. So on to the bottom line now, and with a little triplet in there on the tritone again. So here we go with 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's loop, do that again one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now looping it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Time. Fortunately, the strumming at the end of this session is going to be nice and relaxing, because this is driving us mad probably. On to the second bar of the bottom line, and first interval actually is up an octave, so and then it comes down the descending tritone. So just bar 2 of the bottom line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually based on the tune, some will say it's not a tune, the tune Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. And they were particularly into the darker side of music, and they liked to use this interval to actually add a dark sonority to their compositions. So let's just loop that second bar. Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. That has to be one of the most atmospheric introductions to a piece of music, that album track, and worth a listen if you've got Spotify and can just stick it on, or ask Alexa. Okay, we're going to move on to the very last rhythm now, and this is the 2 bars at the end of this line. And you may recognise it as it's the clapping pattern we did earlier. Same as the clapping pattern we started the morning warm-up session with, just that I've applied the 2 notes, the interval, to the pattern. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit, otherwise it's doesn't sound quite so interesting. So here we go with the remaining 2 bars, and we're going to go straight for a loop because you've had plenty of time to practice this now. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. As I mentioned earlier, the recommended listening for that track is, yep, see you, Chris, is Lee Morgan's tune, The Sidewinder, which is a very well-known tune. You'll recognise, if you don't know the title, you'll recognise it as soon as you hear it. It's from the 60s, and it's a great little toe-tapping tune. It's one of the great sort of boogaloo tracks. Peter's suggesting the descending tritone in Hancock's half-hour theme tune. Goodness me, I'm going to have to go and look that one up afterwards. Hancock's half-hour theme tune. There's a descending tritone. Is that at the beginning, Peter? Thumbs up or thumbs down? I can't hear, so... All right, well, I'll investigate that one anyway. Thanks for that, Peter. Okay, well, that's the exercise sheet for today. We're just going to finish off with a little strum. And if anyone needs to go, because it is 1:45, then please do a disappearing act. But let's just get the chords up on the screen. And there's a little chord sequence there. It's actually in the Lydian mode. It's hard to write a chord sequence in the Lydian mode because it never sounds like it resolves. But it does mean that you can use that scale that we played earlier, the F Lydian scale, or whatever it is for your instruments, over it. You can, if you want to improvise. Which also means, as I mentioned, it's also the same notes as C major, so you can actually use the C major scale to improvise over this as well. But think of it as F Lydian, because we're rooted on the F. Right, I'm just going to strum, and you can join in with, as usual, with chord tones and improvising and arpeggios or whatever you like. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. And back to the top. One more time. Finish on the F, which does sound a little bit unresolved, but that's the key we're in. Okay, everybody, that's it from the morning warm-up. I hope you're all feeling suitably raring to go, and I'll just get that off the screen. And as always, good to see so many people still joining in.